Good evening, you're watching Estuary News. Coming up in this programme, we find out about a restaurant serving burgers on Christmas Day. We'll have the latest business news. And my guest tonight is Fiona Griffin from the charity Homestart, which has launched a snowflake appeal to help vulnerable children during the festive season. Welcome to Estuary News. I'm Hugh Richards. Time now for the news headlines.
On the fifth day of Christmas, the dogs are off their leads to help keep drugs off our streets. That's according to Humberside Police. As part of Operation Impact Christmas, the force is using its passive drug dogs to sniff out illegal substances in pubs and clubs. The dogs will be out with their handlers working in partnership with officers in the public order team to carry out random drug searches in licensed premises. Elsewhere, a Hull Reverend is urging people to volunteer this Christmas and give something back to the community. The first pioneer minister for the Kingswood estate, Ben Norton, is looking for members of the public to join him in spreading the Christmas cheer on Christmas Eve at a carol service at Kerstephen Grange Care Home in Hull.
If you do find yourself at a loose end, if you do want to make a difference this Christmas, come and join us. There'll be mince pies, mulled wine, come in your favourite Christmas jumper, get dressed up and feel really festive. It's for all ages as well. If you want to get in touch, then please just let me know.
Performing arts students at Grimsby Institute's School of Art have been getting in the Christmas spirit by putting on their own pantomime. The show, Snow Wonderland, was their own take on the Alice in Wonderland story and was performed in front of crowds of hundreds this week. The youngsters said it was a great experience.
Increase of confidence.
Practice.
Yeah. And being able to interact with an audience.
Yeah. Especially a tough crowd like last night.
Yeah, or if you don't know how they're going to react, you've got to kind of like improvise.
It's shown basically what it's like in being a performer, not someone backstage, like a stage manager, an actual performer themselves. Because the course covers everything, but it's shown that going into performing is going to be a good one.
And tourism is on the up in North Lincolnshire. There were more than 3.1 million day visits to events and attractions last year, a 5.5% increase on 2013. This compares favourably with the predicted Visit to England national figure of a rise of 5%. North Lincolnshire Council say the county benefits from a wide range of activities and visitor attractions, ranging from adrenaline sports to historic houses and gardens, and that many council-owned venues have seen a boom in visitor numbers. And that's the latest from the news.
Dope Burger is a fast food restaurant doing its bit to help the homeless this Christmas. They're giving away a free hot meal to everyone who's struggling to afford to put a roof over their heads on Christmas Day. Erica went along to find out how this local business is making a difference.
Most people, they do sit around with the families and the friends at Christmas, and that's something they haven't got. And it's like this business is founded on like what people have helped us like create this business and the image what we've got, and we just want to give something back really. And it's like I lived in William Booth when I was 18, and it just shows like people can be at the top and just one wrong move they can end up right at the bottom and have nothing. There's a few other people that are coming to team up with us. They're like helping us out with giving out like hats and scarves and mince pies, teas and coffees and stuff. They're coming Christmas Day as well. But it's like a few of the staff here that themselves have just volunteered to work free Christmas Day, just to like do the bit and try and help.
Well, if it's the only place that homeless are going to get a meal, I think that's really good.
And do you think it's good that local businesses are doing this for the people?
I do, yes. Yes, I do. Yeah, giving something back to the community.
It shouldn't just be for Christmas, it should be all the year round, you know, to give things to the homeless.
And do you think it's good that local businesses are doing this?
I think they are, but I think they could do more. I think there's maybe a lot of supermarkets throw a lot of stuff away and they could donate it rather than put it in a bin.
I think it's a fantastic idea. It gives people a chance to have a warm meal when other times they're not being able to have one. So yeah, I think it's great.
Being alone out there, it's not good. It's like probably one of the worst feelings ever. You just need help, and they need to be shown like they are on their own and people are ready to help them.
Christmas is supposed to be about spending time with your family, But for some children, these times may not be all that happy. For reasons ranging from hardship to poverty, Christmas can be difficult for many children. The Snowflake Appeal, launched by the charity Home Start, aims to help children at Christmas, and Fiona Griffin is here to tell me more. Fiona, thanks very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me on.
Tell me, first of all, a little bit about Home Start.
Okay, well, Home Start Lincolnshire, which is where I work, is a small local charity. We help families with young children who are going through hard times and they just need a bit of help to get them back on track. The kind of help we offer is volunteer-based, so we spend a lot of our time going out in the community and trying to recruit volunteers who've got parenting experience and have a couple of hours free every week where they can go and visit a family and give them whatever kind of help it is they need. It could be practical help, emotional support, whatever it is that particular family needs to get them through. So really it's a bespoke service and it's free, so it's very good.
Well, of course it is. Everything free is very good and everything helpful is as well. But what causes these problems? Because one thinks that, automatically there's some human instinct that if you're a parent, then you're going to love and look after and make your children happy. That's the reason one becomes a parent, presumably. So what sort of problems do these poor kids endure?
I think one of the wonderful things about Home Start is there is no typical Home Start family. We're not a single issue charity. We help families who've come to hard times for any reason. It could be a bereavement, it could be poverty, as you say, although that's not a major one, to be honest. It could be that they've got a nasty illness, one of the parents or children, divorce, mental illness, it can be a big one. And it can be anything like that will push just the absolutely normal family over the edge. And the aim of Home Start is not to kind of wait until a family is at a point where they've sort of ticked some box, and fulfilled some criteria of a certain amount of difficulty. We're not, and we don't want to be that charity that kind of hangs back and waits. What we do is we want to get in there at quite a low level and help when the family is just starting to have difficulties. And like I say, that kind of volunteer support that we offer, it really can make the difference between what can be a small problem. For example, perhaps somebody's just got a poorly back and their family, their partner's away during the week, or perhaps they're a single parent. They can't get the children in and out of the bath. It can be a simple thing like that, or it could be a very complex issue requiring a lot of emotional support.
And you said that your volunteers are people with parenting experience.
That's right.
Does that exclude non-parents then?
If you're a non-parent and you want to volunteer for us as a home visitor, you'd have to have an exceptional level of experience looking after children, I would imagine. But it doesn't exclude you from volunteering to fundraise for us, which is a big part of what the Snowflake Appeal is about.
Well, let's get on to the Snowflake Appeal. It's a fantastic name, apart from anything else, for this time of year. What's Snowflake doing specifically?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the name, actually, because we've come to that for two reasons. One, of course, because it's a winter appeal. It runs from the beginning of November till the end of January. And the second is it's symbolic of the families and children we support. The idea is that the children that we support are as unique and fragile as snowflakes. So that's quite a nice name.
It's very poetic.
It is.
Rather beautiful.
And it's in concept, it's rather like, the sort of thing that Children in Need and Red Nose Day, the sort of things that they do. It's a community fundraising effort because.
Well, so but the Snowflake is the getting the money inside of things,
exactly,
rather than anything that you're doing for the children specifically. It's what's supporting that.
Yeah, Home Starts up and down the country at the moment are experiencing really terrible cuts from local governments that used to support them because of course it's all handed down, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah.
And recently, Home Start East Lindsey, as was Home Start Lincolnshire now, a part of that, we were experiencing a 100% cut from the Lincolnshire County Council, which was so difficult.
Well, that's 100% is they just suddenly stop giving you any money. What other sources of income do you have?
We also have support from the big lottery. But that's what we lost from the Lincolnshire County Council was about half of our funding. Our volunteers and a lot of the families we support did some wonderful rallying round and we put a protest, but the money's gone, so we have to find other sources of income for it. So to come up suddenly with half of our income, the Snowflake Appeal this year is more important than ever.
And how can people help? How do people contribute to Snowflake? Presumably the easiest way is just to write a cheque, I guess.
Well, I suppose so, yes, but not everybody is in that position. like I said, it's asking people to put on small events in their own community. I would say the first thing that people should do is find out which is their local Home Start and contact them. There are, I know you cover Lincolnshire, North East Lincolnshire.
And the East Riding, yeah.
That's right. And so there's separate Home Starts dotted around there. And once you've done that, they can supply you with, well, I can only speak for my own scheme, but you know, we supply a fundraising pack, giving you lots of ideas of the sort of things you could do. That could be anything from a sponsored event, like a Santa run, or we did have somebody walk from Grimsby to Boston along the coast for us. We've had people swim Lake Windermere.
Fantastic. Swimming Lake Windermere.
I won't talk of the blisters, but yes. So absolutely anything like that. But the key thing is to get in touch with your local Home Start. Again, we can provide sponsorship forms and advice on the legal side of things. For example, a lot of people don't realise if you're running a raffle, there are certain rules you have to abide by legally.
Sure, yes. And the same goes for auctions as well.
Absolutely,
there are very difficult rules there. Yeah. I have a horrible feeling that there are going to be people in bars full of baked beans, Fiona. But
terrible feeling.
If that's the case and it raises some money, then all for the good.
Yes, as long as there's people standing by with baby wipes, it's all going to be fine.
We'll come back in a minute, Fiona. Thanks very much. Join me after the break when I'll be talking a little more to Fiona, and we'll have all the latest local business and sports news and results. Welcome back. You're watching Estuary News. Still to come tonight, we'll bring you the latest local business and sports news and results. I'm still here with Fiona Griffin from the charity Home Start, talking about their snowflake appeal. Fiona, Home Start is quite a young charity. How did it come to exist?
That's right, it is. It only came about in the early 1970s when a lady in Leicestershire realised that there was suddenly a need for us. And I think if you look at the way society has changed, if you think about maybe 40 or 50 years ago, or if you're younger, research into that time, there would have been a lot of children playing out and parents out in the street all chatting to each other and giving advice, you know, and talking about what's hard. If you look at now, you know, we're kind of in our terraced houses alone with our children a lot of the time. So you can see why there's suddenly a need for that sort of thing. And I think with nostalgia, there's people feel nostalgic about a lot of things. And for most of those things, there's really nothing you can do about it. You know, you can't get a bag of sweets for half a penny. You probably can't, however well connected you are, get the remaining Beatles together for a concert. But here's something you can do, something you can really change. And I don't mean that in a kind of knock at the door, can you give us £2 a month way. The way Home Start works is that our volunteers really are at the core of what we do. And if you want to bring about change, if you want to bring about that support for people in your community to make it a better place for families, a better place to grow, you know, for children to grow up, then really volunteering for Home Start is the best thing you can do.
Well, nostalgia is not what it used to be, of course. But I do remember the 1970s, and I do remember when I was a kid that you just go and knock on your neighbour's door. Yeah, terraced houses, or houses next door to each other. Just go and, can little Johnny come out to play? And we would, and that was absolutely fine. What's stopping that now? I mean, I don't want sweeties for half a pence, but I do want.
Well, you're a fool.
But I do want children to have friends and be friends with each other. So why can't they just go out and have that sort of communal aspect of life?
Well, there just doesn't exist anymore. The fact of children playing out in the street. I think people.
Why not? The streets are still there. The houses are still there. The children are still there.
This is true. But people have become more wary, and Home Start isn't a commentator on why this has happened or whether it's a good or a bad thing. But something I love about us is that we're a very pragmatic charity. The fact is that people are more isolated, particularly in a rural community like this one, and we want to do everything we can to make sure that doesn't have a bad impact on the children. We want to live in a society where every parent has the support they need to give their children the very best start in life.
And how would you describe, we've both been children, we've both known Christmases before, the perfect Christmas for a child?
Oh, well, I think the opportunity to enjoy time together as a family is the biggest thing. And by having a Home Start volunteer, if you can do something to take away the stresses and the practical difficulties that are inhibiting that, then that's the most wonderful gift you can give a children at Christmas.
Fiona, brilliant. That's a very idealistic answer, although the true answer, of course, is the food. Fiona, thank you very much and have a very happy Christmas.
Thank you, and you.
OK, thank you very much. That was great. Over now to the business news for Lincolnshire and the East Riding.
Welcome to the business news for East Yorkshire and Lincolnshire. National infrastructure company Balfour Beatty has won a £25 million contract to build the onshore substation, which will connect the Hornsey offshore wind farm to the national grid. Dong Energy says that the wind farm will become the largest offshore wind farm in the UK once it's constructed and will provide 1.2 gigawatts of electricity, which will power up to 800,000 homes. Businesses in the fishing industry in our area are set to benefit from an increase in North Sea fishing quotas. European Union negotiations in Brussels have increased quotas for North Sea cod and haddock by 15% and 47% compared to this year's quota. Fisheries Minister George Eustace hailed the deal as a great result for fishermen, while DEFRA has said the number of days fishermen will be able to go out fishing will remain the same as last year. A conference chaired by Lord Prescott that took place on the Pride of Hull yesterday aimed to increase shipping traffic between the Humber ports and Europe. Business leaders, academics and EU officials met on board the ship to discuss topics ranging from the influence of the Northern Powerhouse to trade routes to the Baltic states. Lord Prescott said that his vision of enhanced multimodal connectivity along the Hull to Liverpool corridor was critical to bringing economic benefits. Hull-based specialist ticket company Benrose Booth Paragon has developed a full-scale ink manufacturing plant. The development comes after a knowledge transfer partnership with the University of Hull and allows the development of ink that is used to print train tickets across the world. Currently, all the tickets that are used on British railways are printed in Hull, and an increasing number are being exported all over the world. Grimsby estate agent Piggott & Crone is the best in the Midlands. The company won the Midlands Estate Agent of the Year award and the Times and on Sunday Times Property Awards. The awards judges commended the agent's impressive position as a marketing leader in the area and was also impressed at the investment in advanced technical services, which had improved customer service. Nathan Emerson, one of the partners at the company, said winning the award was a huge achievement and a testament to the hard work from all their staff across the East Midlands. The Centre for Digital Innovation on Queen Street in Hull is being officially opened today. The centre, which was being built on Queen Street in the fruit market area of the city, offers a place for business startups in the technology industry, a place to communicate and coordinate with each other. It's part of a wider initiative started by Tech City UK, which aims to connect technology companies around the country. The opening will also mark one of the first steps in the regeneration of Hull's fruit market area in time for City of Culture 2017, which is just over a year away. And we'll have more on this in tomorrow's news bulletin. And that's all from the business news for this week.
Joining me on the sofa, Erica Barker, to look through some of the latest news stories. Erica.
Hello, Hugh. Well, plans to build a £36 million concert and conference venue in Hull that would have created 500 jobs have been unexpectedly turned down. This has been in the Hull Daily Mail today. What happened is it says one Labour councillor whose vote could have led to the scheme being approved after some councillors were objecting to it was disqualified from voting because he went to the toilet in the middle of a debate and had not attended a compulsory site visit. So that they are saying that his vote would have made all the difference, but through those objections from some of the councillors that may not go ahead.
Just to clarify, when you say he went to the toilet in the middle of a debate, I think he did leave the room first, I imagine.
Yes, one would assume.
£36 million worth. All our local governments very cash-strapped. Where on earth does Hull City Council find 36 million quid down the back of the sofa?
Well, it was City of Culture 2017, exciting times, a concert venue, a place that all the big artists could come, brilliant for musicians in this city. There was a lot of hype around it, a lot of excitement, and it looks like that may not now go ahead.
Well, OK, very controversial.
Awful one, this one. This was within the Grimsby Telegraph. It says authorities have vowed to crack down on antisocial behaviour in Grimsby Park after it emerged that dogs are being trained to maul children's play equipment. So the dogs are being trained to chew the equipment, causing thousands of pounds worth of damage. This is on the West Marsh, the Duke of York Gardens off Corporation Road, just unbelievable, really.
So the dogs are being trained to go and chew up the slides and the roundabouts and the swings. And
yeah, but
like
within
that.
the Grimsby Telegraph, there's photos of the equipment, and yeah, not good at all.
Well, OK, very strange behaviour.
Very strange
but
indeed.
Not the dog's fault.
Just quickly, former North East Lincolnshire Council leader Chris Shaw has resigned from the local Labour group, but he did tell the Grimsby Telegraph that he won't take up the Labour whip. It says he has left the Labour group, but he hasn't left the Labour Party.
Why has he left the group?
It doesn't say.
Okay, very mysterious.
It doesn't say.
That one I'm sure we can pursue at another time, Erica.
Definitely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hugh.
Time now for the sport.
League One side Scunthorpe booked an exciting FA Cup trip to Premier League champions Chelsea by beating Leyton Orient in their second round replay 3-0. Elsewhere, Grimsby Town boss Paul Hurst has told Town FC he was disappointed to exit the FA Cup to a late strike, but he says the players can be proud of themselves. They lost 1-0 to Shrewsbury. And Steve Bruce has told the club's official site it's important that his side, Hull City, push on again after returning to winning ways at the weekend. The Tigers host Reading at the KC Stadium, having responded to back-to-back league defeats with a 1-0 success against Bolton Wanderers last time out, with player David Myler adding that they didn't play particularly well against Bolton. Conditions were poor and Bolton made it tough for them, but it was important that they won the game and that they now have to do it again if they want to get back to the top of the table. And speaking to the Hull Daily Mail, coach Lee Radford believes improvements to not just his squad but staff will help him progress as a coach. Radford has secured 6 new faces to the team, including star names Frank Pritchard and Sika Manu. Hull's boss also appointed Paul Hayton as the club's new conditioner, hoping it'll support his development as a coach. And preparations are underway for one of the county's biggest sporting days of the year at Market Raisin Racecourse on Boxing Day. There'll be a packed programme of jump racing on Saturday, December the 26th, including the annual Clugston Lincolnshire National. And that's the latest from the news.
That's all for tonight. If you have a news story for us, then please visit our Facebook or Twitter pages, email news@estuary.tv or phone Grimsby 01472 31 553. Details on the screen. Until tomorrow, good evening.
Estuary TV weather, sponsored by Rix Petroleum, your local family-owned heating oil supplier this winter.
Hello and welcome to Estuary TV's weather. Thursday will be dry with some bright spells in the morning. Cloud thickening in the afternoon though as a band of rain moves east through the region. Breezy and mild with temperatures of 14 degrees. Friday will see patchy rain spreading northeast across the region once again.
Rix, servicing the region's oil boilers this winter from a name you can trust. Get in touch at rix.co.uk or call us on 01482 838383.